Hi folks, how you doing? Welcome to another video. Today, hopefully, I'm going to show you how to sharpen one of these, a drill bit. So, there's not many tools that I'd say you need to spend decent money on. Yes, I have Snap-on Toolbox, I have Snap-on tools, but that's because I like them. They're not necessary, I just like them and I'm a child and stuff like that. There are plenty of other tool companies out there that work and do the job and everything else. But when it comes to drill bits, you know, the hole you're drilling, 9 times out of 10, needs to be fairly accurate. So having a decent drill bit is paramount, really. A cheap drill bit, I mean, I've got one in there. I mean, this is a cheap drill bit. I'll do a close-up in a bit. This is really soft metal and it chews up and eventually you won't get a decent accurate hole. Now, I know what you're saying, I can hear you screaming at the end of the thing, oh, but drill bits ain't expensive, we'll just go replace them. But the drill bits that you're replacing tend to be cheap drill bits and they're not accurate, and why keep spending money when you can buy a decent drill bit and just sharpen it or touch it up. Basically, that's all you need to do, is just touch it up and just give it its edge back. And that's what I'm showing you today. So there is a caveat to this. I'm not an engineer. There are far superior videos out there that are better than what I'm going to teach you, but hopefully this will get you by. I mean, it's served me well for the past 20 years, and I've had these drill bits for the past 10 years, and all I do is just touch them up and we're fine. So this is a video I've been wanting to do for a little while, but I generally keep my drill bits pretty touched up. You know, it takes like 30 seconds once you've got it sort of down. And yeah, so I have deliberately today destroyed this drill bit. Let me give you a close-up of what we're talking about. Well, I mean, it's in the thumbnail. So if we can get it to focus properly, this is the drill bit in question. Come on, focus. Come. There we go. So you can see it's destroyed on that corner. Oh, you watch while I'm moving it. Goes out of focus again. It's destroyed on that corner as well. So, yeah, these are the drill bits that I use. You can see, just looking at it, it's a reasonable quality drill bit. And these are not that expensive. This is, I mean, it's been chewed up at the end where I haven't chucked it up properly. But these are Dormer A100 drill bits. So, this is my advice to anybody sort of buying drills. I've started out with a cheap box. And this is a cheap box. It was from Wilko's, which is... It's a cheap store in England. Well, UK, I believe. I don't know. Yeah, I bought a cheap box, and then I've replaced the ones that I've used. I mean, to be fair, I did manage to get a fair crack of these fairly cheap. But some of them, like this one, this is the original one. And this is what I was just talking about. You see how it's chewed up on that edge there? So that is not going to make a clean hole. And it's not going to be an accurate hole because it's been chewed up. But, to be fair, it did sharpen up okay. So, when it comes to the smaller drills, they are an absolute nightmare to sharpen. Just buy new until you get to probably about 4mm. I mean, I sharpen this one. That's what, 5mm this one, and I do sharpen that one up. Probably wants another touch up, but it's good enough for what I do. And then yeah, you can see I just keep them all pretty good. So let's stop rambling on and let's go over and I'll show you what we need to do. So today I'm going to be using the belt sander, purely and simply because it's going to be a lot easier to show you on a nice flat surface. Normally most people have a bench grinder. You'd want to use the finest wheel you can possibly use, but as you can see, my wheel is destroyed, plus I've got this racking in the way. But it's exactly the same process on here as it is for here, I'll show you sort of like on this point here where it's sort of rounded, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I mean that's a fairly fine wheel. You know, I would never use a coarse wheel like this on it. I mean, you can, but you know that it's just not going to be as good as a fine wheel. So I mean, this belt on here, I think it was a 120, but it's a bit worn. But this is going to work in the favour of the video because I can go a little bit slower and show you the technique of what we need to do. I've got you in real close, but I can't actually do the grinding with the camera right here because the tripod's in the way and everything else, but I can show you the technique. Right, so the first thing you need to sort of notice, I'm trying to sort of frame up here really close in, is obviously the angle of the drill bit itself. So there is a specific angle for that. I can't remember what it is, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. But there is no way of doing this freehand. But what you can do is a little trick that I learned years ago, and it'll get you close enough, is 2 nuts held together like that. That's about the angle that you want, and that will, I think it's 60 degrees and it should be 58 on the drill bit, but then that's about 60, I think. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen anyway. So that's what you're looking for, you know. So the way to do this, I'm using sort of the bigger drill bit to show you, is you can see you've got the line there. You want to keep that as horizontal as possible. Now I'm going to use this shield as a rest, but you know, you want to use whatever you've got. Then you want to keep that as horizontal as possible, and you just touch on. I'll show you a better angle in a bit, but I'm slightly pointed down at the back end. I don't know what sort of degrees that is, but when you sort of touch on, right, you don't want to sort of just ram it in there and then sort of do whatever. What you need to do is just slightly touch, and then as you do so, you drop and roll like that. Drop and roll. Then you spin it round, drop and roll, drop and roll. That's basically what you want to do. It is a lot easier to practice on big drill bits than it is small drill bits. But basically what you want to see is, you've got your cutting edge there obviously. You want to see a drop off at the back, but you don't want to see it coming on this edge here. Hopefully that comes up on camera properly. I can't really see on the tiny screen, but yeah, you see right in that corner there, you can quite easily sort of go down, and then you'll actually end up cutting into the cutting edge. So let me move the camera again, and then I'll show you the techniques. And yeah, it's practice. All I can do is sort of show you the basic setup. Really, I'm sorry. So it literally just started raining, so hopefully you can still hear me properly. You're pretty close, so hopefully you can. So there's the drill bit. Like I said, no fun to putting my hand on the grinder. Don't worry if you don't get it the first pass. Keep it even. Like you see, I just did 2 passes. And that's what she looks like after it's done. So you can see you've got roll back here, roll back there, and then come on, focus. Come on. That point sort of meets. It's really hard. Come on. Come on. Yeah. So yeah, you can see the point meets in the middle just as it starts to roll around on both. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. As you can see, it is relatively straightforward, but be warned, it is quite a skill to master. But the results speak for themselves. It is a worthwhile skill to learn. My suggestion would be sort of go down sort of car boot, swap meet, stuff like that, pick up a load of old drill bits and just play and practice. Obviously get yourself a scrap, test, you know, to see how blunt they are first or dull they are first, touch them up, and then you can see your results, and then you will learn, you'll get a feel for it, and it is a feel, just it's the same as any other skill. It's practice and learning, but it is a good skill to learn, you know, because you can spend more money on drill bits and you'll have a better quality of life, really. You know, there's nothing worse than spending hours trying to drill a hole with a dull drill bit with it squeaking in your ears. You learn how to touch it up, you know, a little bit of lube, look after your drills, you get a cleaner hole, and they drill a lot faster as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a quick one. It didn't quite go as I planned. I really wanted to get really sort of in close and to the bench grinder and show you exactly as I was doing it, but the bench is in the way and the tripod, it just didn't work. But hopefully you can see what I did properly. If you like stuff like this and you want to see anything else, drop a like, drop a comment of some suggestions, and I'd help you out as much as I can. With that being said, we're done for this video. So if you haven't already, click the bubble over here, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're informed of all the videos as and when I put them up. And then if you have a look over here, there should be 2 tabs of videos that I've done in the past. I'll see you for the next one. Bye.